Hello, everyone. Rabbi Moshe Rothschild here from the Israel Alliance, bringing you the real news, the summary of the news from Israel for week ending April 16th, 2021. So it was a very busy week in Israel in the sense that we marked Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day, on beginning Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then immediately we celebrated Israel's 73rd Independence Day, starting Wednesday night into Thursday. These 2 days always are juxtaposed. One leads into the next because you cannot appreciate Independence Day without having Memorial Day beforehand. So we memorialized the more than 20,000 Israeli soldiers, victims of terror, those who did anything to help found the state on Memorial Day, and then celebrated wildly the 73rd birthday of the state of Israel, Independence Day. This week, again, trying to form a government, Netanyahu offered Naftali Bennett, who's from the Yamina party, one of the right-wing parties, two top portfolios in the government to control the defense ministry and the foreign ministry in order to lure Bennett into joining a government with Netanyahu. We will see what happens in the next few weeks if Netanyahu succeeds in forming a government. By the way, if you're joining us, pop your name down below, say hello, let me know where you're from, say shalom, anything you want to tell me. I read all the comments. I don't always get to respond to them. Sometimes I do, but I read them all. So pop your name down below. Israel is preparing for a construction boom in Judea and Samaria, what the world erroneously calls the West Bank. Where is this construction boom coming from? During the Trump years, during the Trump presidency, the United States gave their, they did not oppose. We don't need the approval of the United States to build in Judea and Samaria, but we certainly do not need the US to oppose it. So the Trump administration did not, they gave their tacit approval to construction, and that construction is going to begin soon. Tens of thousands of new homes, buildings in Judea and Samaria. Why am I telling you this week? Because there appears to be a push in the Biden administration to put pressure on Israel not to go forward with this construction. An Israeli ship was attacked by Iranian missile off the coast of the Emirates. A ship that was partially owned by an Israeli company was hit by an Iranian missile while sailing in international waters. Very serious event. Iran begins enriching uranium to 60%, which is their highest level ever. They began enriching uranium to 60% purity, higher than the program has ever done before, though it's still short of weapons grade. They did this in response to an Israeli attack, or a supposed Israeli attack on the Natanz nuclear facility. Now, speaking of that, they're claiming that it is no accident that Israel was behind this attack on the nuclear plant at Natanz, and there was very significant damage. And the Iranian ministry, they even said that the sabotage was quote unquote beautiful. They appreciated the incredible work that the Israeli clandestine services can do. Israel announced this week that they will allow tourists to start returning on May 23rd. But let me clarify, this is not individuals, but only groups. Groups can come as long as they can prove that they are vaccinated. They have to have a blood test showing that they have antibodies. So it's a bit of a nuisance, but at least groups may be able to start coming. If you've had COVID or you've been vaccinated and you can show the antibodies, you'll be able to join a group. Hopefully this is the beginning of the loosening of the restrictions, and it will go down from there. The administration, the Biden administration, was all set to renew aid to the Palestinians, about $150 million in aid. And Senator Jim Risch of Idaho and Michael McCall of Texas, both Republicans, put a stop to it. At least they were able to delay it. Remember, the Republicans are not in control. And they said this week, quote, the Palestinian Authority is spending millions annually, millions, to compensate terrorists while the international community pays for the well-being of the Palestinian people. And they are correct. And sadly, this administration, the Biden administration, supported by the Democrats in Congress and the Senate, are going to renew giving money to the Palestinians, which they are going to use to pay terrorists their salaries. It's actually a law that was passed in the United States called the Taylor Force Act that prohibits the United States from sending aid to the Palestinians as long as they are paying money to terrorists for murder. But sadly, it seems to be that that law is being ignored. So folks, I want to wish you a great Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, and remind you, March 2022, in about a year from now, we'll be having an Israel Alliance trip to Israel, which I will personally be guiding. If you'd like to join us, put your contact information below, and I will send you information. We would love to have you. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great week. This is Rabbi Moshe Rothschild of the Israel Alliance saying goodbye.